What's up, you silly savage motherfuckers? You already know what it is. Keith Zeckman with the Keith Zeckman Exchange. Alright, folks. Woo! Just got my 3 miles in. Felt good. You know, one thing I love about these runs I do, man, is the fact that you clear out your system a good bit when you run like this. If you got allergies, or, you know, your sinus is blocked up a little bit, or anything like that. I know I have sinus issues and shit. I've had my nose broken multiple times. It just bothers me from time to time. And I have problems with my ears and my tubes and whatnot. It seems like, anyway. Constantly have pressure issues with all that shit. But anyways, when I get my run in, it helps clear everything out, helps alleviate the pressure, and kind of reset a little bit for everything. Feels good. But my legs, they're feeling rough. They're definitely not fresh. It's been a push of a week. Every single day has been, you know, doing shit all day. Doing, like, you know, laborious work, not just like, you know, soft work, if you know what I'm trying to say. Doing like heavy lifting, pulling, all that shit, you know, taxing my legs before I even get my run in. And you know, I had that one day where I did probably like 5.5 miles, so I pushed it that day. And then every other day it's been rainy. Like today, it's super wet out. It rained a good bit today. And, you know, it's dark. It's just a different environment. You know, you don't got that scenery to look at. You kind of just, it's you in your head just running. And that's it. You just got to work with it and go. So that's what I've been getting at. And I don't have to pop up my runs. I've been doing 3 miles, but I'm gonna have to pump them up. Do like 3.5, 3.25 maybe. Maybe I'll start going up a quarter again instead of jumping big like I did. I mean, I jumped almost a full mile when I was at 2.25, and I think I did a day of 2.5 or whatever, and then I jumped right away up to what was it, 3? Yeah, 3 miles, and I've been doing that for about a week now. And then I had those days where I was doing even more. Feels good. I mean, it's funny because when I come out here, when I came out here today, I was in a long sleeve with a t-shirt over top, and I got my my like CrossFit shorts on with my just socks and shoes, you know, nothing crazy, but I'm not wearing like full leg spandex, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know, I think the direct cold air on my knees and on my shins sometimes is more of a struggle. But I know, like last night, it was a little warmer out last night. Like today, it's I think in the 40s or something right now, which isn't bad. But when you first start running, it's cold. You know, it's not like, especially when it's wet out. You know, I still enjoy it, and then I love this temperature too because I know in the summer when I'm running, when it's like 90 degrees out and shit, you want to run the whole time in as little clothing as possible. But like this, you can start off in layers, get your body warmed up fast, and then by the time I'm around to my 2 mile, I'm begging to take my stuff off. And it feels good. You kind of get that, that heat shock when you're running and doing that. But then also like I've used before, especially on the really cold days when it's in the 30s and shit, and you take off your shirt and stuff, that cold shock, I don't know, it helps me take my mind off of my knees and my legs and how beat up they're feeling. And I mean, I'm running here, man, mile in, and my legs are hurting, everything sucks. I got all these, because it's so, the wet rocks, they stick into your bottoms of your shoes more, and they kick up, so they get into your shoes. I got rocks all in my shoes. I gotta shit, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a pain in the ass, bro. But that's how it goes. You just gotta push through and keep going. It's Mike Posner, right? Just keep going. You know, I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's an awesome artist, great musician, just spectacular with that. But this past year, he took on the endeavor of walking from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and at some point in his walk, his motto was keep going, and which was awesome. It was awesome watching him do what he did. But in Colorado, I believe it was, he got bit by a baby rattlesnake, and for most people, that would be the end, man. Like, you get bit by a baby rattlesnake, you cheat death, basically. You almost die, or at the very least almost lose a limb, and no less, I believe it was in his leg, foot, whatever. But it's like, holy fuck, that's the most important thing you need to walk across a country is your leg and your foot, right? And this dude almost lost it, let alone almost lost his life. So it's like, he picked up, I believe it was some weeks later after that happened, after he recovered and got his, a little bit of endurance back into his legs to be able to take on the walk. He rejoined his commitment and he finished. And since then, I've seen him take on absolutely spectacular climbs, doing all sorts of different mounts and different expeditions. And it's just definitely an awesome thing to see people take shit on like that. And he talks about how for years and years he wanted to do that walk across the country, but between being a musician, and you're famous and putting out album after album and, falling into the trap of what society wants you to do and what musicians are supposed to do and yada yada. And he finally said, kind of said fuck it to himself. And, and just, did it. Didn't worry about it much. Just kind of just did it. And that's all that's all you need to have in your mindset is just do it. Forget everything else. Forget societal norms. Forget, what you're supposed to be doing or what your parents wanted you to do or this or that. And, I'm not saying family's not important and there aren't going to be people who help shape what you do and who you become. But, if you have something set in your mind that you really want to do it. It's life doesn't stop for anybody. It doesn't slow down. It doesn't shape itself to fit what you want it to. You got to do the opposite. You got to fit the world for you. You got to make it so that whatever it is that you want to do, you make it happen. If you just sit there on the couch all day eating potato chips and using your clicker to change the channel and swap back and forth from Judge Judy to Judge Joe Brown to Dr. Phil, you're not really going to get anywhere with what your own goals are going to be, and you're not going to get anywhere with accomplishing anything that's going to make you feel good. And I think that's a common mistake is people wait for things to come to them. And maybe some people fall into shit luck, and I'm not really a big believer in luck. I think some people, things happen and you get opportunities, and some people are set up better than others, and everybody's dealt a different hand of cards. But at the end of the day, it's all about what you do with those cards. You could get dealt a royal flush, but if you fold your hand before you even play it, well, it really doesn't fucking matter then, does it? That's kind of the point here. Is, you don't know what you have until you try. And if you're not trying, you have no excuse. You have no you have no reason to sit there and blame it on anything else other than yourself. Nobody's life's perfect. And, you can look at people who are born into money or born into a better economic status or born into a better school district or born into whatever it may be. But one of the beautiful things that I've ever heard, and it's this is a Joe Rogan, taking something from him, is the fact that you'll hardly ever find a great man who's a son of a great man. And that's paraphrased obviously, and maybe the wording's a little different, but the idea is great men, revered men, people who really are just they hit the pinnacle, man. They go for it, and they become these special people that even history recognizes. You'll hardly ever find their sons have the same limelight, or daughters for that matter. This isn't a sexist a bit here, but it's more about the idea that challenge, just the idea of having to go through struggles and having to go through adversity and dealing with the hardest bits of life that there are mold great men. They say tough times make tough men, and it's a beautiful quote, and it's true. It does. But it also creates mentally strong and enduring men and women. But until you take those things and put them into actuality and apply them to your own life, it's never going to matter. And it's like the idea of, the idea of greats, not having greats follow them. It's because of that. They don't have trials. They don't have the struggles that the common man does. When you're born into success and you're born into money, and you don't have to worry about this, or you don't have to worry about putting food on the table, or any of the above. That's the point, is you don't go through those things that mold men into being the men that they are when they're great. Or women. Sorry, women out there, if you're listening to this, I'm not trying to offend you. It's just, the wording. So, yeah. That's the point, But, and it's not always that way. Nothing's solidified. There's nothing like, you can always change your fate to an extent. Some things are harder than others, but, most things are possible and are controllable, and the fact that you can attain them if you put in the required work, dedication, and you present the required drive necessary. And I promise you, this is one tip that will always, and I mean always, present itself as being optimal in any situation. Always overshoot. Don't do the math. Don't sit there and say, okay, well, how do I, make $1 billion or $1 million or $100,000, whatever it may be. Let's use the example of, how do I make $100,000? If you really want to make $100,000, don't shoot to make $100,000, because you're probably not going to hit it. Shoot to make $500,000. Always overshoot. Always over apply your estimations. Because in the worst case scenario, let's say your goal was to hit $100,000 in a year, to make that. And you say, okay, I want to hit $100,000. And that's where your mindset is. Well, and then you only make $70,000. You're going to feel like you failed your goal. Okay, and that may be true. But if you take the overestimation idea and say, hey, my goal is to hit $500,000 this year. Well, you're going to have a hell of a lot more drive in you. You're going to have a hell of a lot, more to attain. And say you still fail that $500,000 goal, but we'll use the same math, hitting 70% of $500,000. Now, I'm no mathematician, I'm not any kind of wizard, and I don't have a calculator in my head, but, what I do know is if you take 70% of 500,000, it's a hell of a lot more than just 70 grand out of 100 grand. So let me do a little mental math for you so I don't goof this up. So that'd be about, $350,000, give or take, somewhere in there, somewhere in that range. If you made that your goal, you almost quadrupled your $100,000 original goal. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? If you just look at those percentages, aim higher. And it might not be realistic for you, but aim higher. Always aim higher. Because if you settle for average and you fail average, you're even below average. Always aim high. Always look to attain that pinnacle. Because worst case scenario, you'll still almost guarantee, if you're putting in the work and you're putting in those things that I talked about before, you'll always guarantee to hit above average. You might not hit your goal, but you might overstep. And that'll let you know that you can now increase that goal even higher and higher and higher. But never settle. Never settle. Every day is a challenge. Every day is a gift. In this weird cosmic fucking swirl of whatever we are, here in the Milky Way galaxy, on planet Earth, in this funky fucking solar system we're in. Man, what are the odds? What are the fucking odds that you, me, and the rest of us are all living here, doing what we do, acting like it's normal when it's not? Nothing about this is normal. Sometimes, and I think that's one nice thing about this coronavirus shit going on, is we get a chance to kind of see the abnormality of our normalcy and how we approach it and how we think some of this shit is normal when it's not. Man, think about it. You got this little thing called a virus that's completely changed the entire planet, the entire species of humans, talking about 8 billion people or so. It's absurd. Something that we can't even see, completely altering our steady state of what it was. Absolutely flipping it upside down. And that's what I'm trying to kind of get to you, is everything is finite. And we don't quite understand much of it. But what I do understand is that whether you believe in simulation theories or you believe in this or that, or 1 second, folks, my 1 mile cooldown's going off in my ear. And anyway, sorry about that. No matter what theories you believe in or what you think happens after we die or what happens before we die, or I don't know about you, but I don't remember a lick of time before I was born, let alone after. I mean, most of my memories are from probably age 3 or 4 up, and even then most of that's fuzzy. So what's the fucking difference in saying of what we remember and what we don't, what's real, what isn't? Oh God, man. So much goes into this shit. It's just, and we don't even get it. We don't even know. I mean, we're spitballing. So when you sit there and you worry about, it's Friday, right? Oh, here's a great one. Here's a fucking great one. ever since the coronavirus happened. Guess what nobody gives a fuck about? Friday. You know why? Well, you can't go out. You can't go to the bars. You can't go to the casino. You can't go to the club. You can't go to your fucking places where you escape reality. All you got is your house, maybe. And yeah, you can still drink up and smoke your dope or whatever it is that you're into. Go ahead. But, a lot of those escapes that you had, you can't go to the gym. Can't go to this, can't go to that. So what's Friday anymore? It's just another fucking day. I forgot today was even Friday until I really looked at a calendar. And I thought it was Sunday for a second. I'm like, I don't even know. Because I honestly don't give a shit. I didn't before and I don't now. All I use it as is a tool to figure out, if something's coming in the mail or or if I got taxes due or some bullshit. I don't know. But, yeah, folks, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to get at, though. Don't stress. Don't take things too crazy, serious, Take them serious in the sense of what it means to you, but don't fret about things that you don't have passion for anyway. There's no sense in it. Don't bring struggles into your life that aren't even necessary, that don't affect you. And that's why I've said in previous videos, it's a great time to reevaluate what you are passionate about, what you want to do with your life. Like I've said, everything here is finite. Figure it out. But do it on your own terms. Don't live your one and only life for somebody else or something else. Unless it's something you really feel fucking driven to. Now, this video is going on 20-some minutes. Oh boy. Stiff as a motherfucker. Now, I'm grabbing my shit. And sorry that this video is so dark. I know usually I do it where you guys can see my face at least, but I was getting a nice cool down walk in. I walked even another mile. And I tell you what, it makes a difference in the way your legs feel. And now, when I started, it's going to be bright. Alright, here we go. When I started the end of my cool down walk, and I began that rather, I was hot, I was sweaty, I was all sorts of fucking, ready to go. But after that cool down walk, now I'm like, I got that cold shock now. All my sweat's dried up, my body's fucking, all like tightened back up. But it feels good, man. Like, I'm telling you, you gotta get your blood pumping. I'm telling you, out of all the trials and tribulations I've had with my body or my mind or anything, the only thing I can always count on to truly make a difference is exercise. Getting my blood flowing, getting my body moving, getting in gear. Not only does it take your mind off the problem, but it physically helps you attain, and it helps you mentally prepare for the next day of whatever it is you got to face. Now, I know you guys might be thinking I'm drinking some whiskey or something, or maybe some beer out of this, but I've been using these for my water cups. Yeah, I guess I'm weird, I don't know, but it is what it is. So, there's another day in the books. I got almost 25 minutes of just walking and talking. So, that was a good one, folks. You know what I'm going to say. Just focus on wearing a mask. Staying away from people if you can. Just do your part. And it seems like the more and more information that comes out about this shit that's going on, the better the totality of it really is seeming to be. And the less dangerous this virus really seems it's going to end up being for the whole populace. And not to say that it can't kill or hurt you or your family, but the more information I'm starting to dive into, because, like I said, I want to go in about that coronavirus video by the end of the week. And guess what? I got, the weekend here now, so I'm going to be working on that. But I wanted to get up to speed. The more I'm reading, the more I'm, looking at, the better it seems that, it's probably hitting a lot more people than we even have a clue about, because of the fact that we don't have enough tests, or we don't have enough, or people are just so asymptomatic that they don't even know they have it. So, which is definitely a beautiful case, because then the numbers of death per ratio will surely be a lot lower than we think. So it is what it is. But that's gonna be it for today. Got almost 9 o'clock, so I gotta get on home, get some food in me, get some fuel going, and then maybe y'all catch me on fucking Call of Duty. Maybe, I don't know if y'all hit PS4, but hit my line. I'll give you my gamer tag. But, all jokes aside, for real, guys, I wish you all the best. Anybody who watches this video, and even those who don't, I'm always praying up for y'all and for everybody to have, health through all this bullshit. And even aside from the virus, man, I'd be making these videos regardless. I still hope for the same things for all of you. And, I'll catch y'all tomorrow, because this grind never stops. Never stops. Every day, I know I felt so good to get in today, and I know mid-run tomorrow it's going to be a bitch, and I'm not going to want to do it, and then afterwards I'm going to have this awesome time where I get to talk to y'all and tell y'all about it and how I feel and how shitty my legs feel, but how good my spirit feels, because I overcame again, and I'll catch you then. So until God or whoever it is upstairs that takes away my last breath and doesn't allow me to do this, I'm going to keep doing it. Until then, you're going to have to just keep watching or not. I don't know. That's up to you, but you can mind your own motherfucking business if you don't. Cheers to all of you, and have a wonderful and blessed weekend, if you want to call it that. And stay safe, and God bless.